It's Tim Harper and Garrett Oliver at the Peculiar Pub for the kickoff of the Good Beer Book. Tell me a little bit about the book, Garrett.
Well, I think this is a really good book for people who have just had their first few craft brewed beers and are looking to take it a bit further. I mean, when it comes to overall large beer books with lots of details and lots of pictures, I mean, Michael Jackson's books are just the best in the world. But we wanted to offer something else, that's not as expensive. Something that's not really a coffee table book, but a great guide to getting started in good beer. And then when people get more involved, they can take it that step further. But I think that we do have a lot of it fairly in depth. We cover a lot about the business of beer, the background of beer, the history of beer. So by the time you're finished reading this book, you'll know more about beer and beer styles and particular beers than 99.5% of the people in the United States. And, I think it's a lot of fun as well.
Now, this is your first book?
Yeah, it's my first book. It's not Tim's first book.
Right. And Tim Harper, you're the co-author of the book. Obviously not your first book. What was your idea going into this book? What makes this one a little different from your last?
Well, I've done, this is my sixth book, my second one on beer. The last book was the Good Beer Guide to New York, talking about where you can find good beer in New York. Fortunately, now you can find it just about anywhere. Things have changed so quickly in New York and throughout the rest of the country over the last few years. The idea for this book, as Garrett said, was just as a primer, an introduction to people to the world of good beer. We cast a very wide net, talked about a lot of topics, and the idea is to bring people in and get them so they're not intimidated to try a new beer, a microbrew, a dark beer, a Weiss beer, anything that's a little different, and to show them that you don't have to be a beer geek to enjoy good beer.
Tell me a little bit, Garrett, about some of the beers that you're brewing for the Brooklyn Brewing Company. I know that you've come out with the new barley wine, which is excellent, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Also the brown ale. Tell us a little bit about these different beers.
Well, right now, I mean, we've got our main beer is still the Brooklyn Weiss, which is the wheat beer, which I'm drinking right now. We just brought out Irish Stout, at least for the month of March, which is going great. In fact, I had to put a couple of extra brews on. Monster, the barley wine, was out earlier in the month. It's largely gone, though I think there's a cask still on a DBA tonight. And let's see, what else do we have out there? The next beer along is going to be Blanche de Brooklyn, which is going to be a Belgian-style white beer. That'll be out late April.
What kind of yeast are you using? A traditional wit yeast?
We're going to be using a traditional wit yeast, the whole 9 yards, coriander, orange peel, and raw wheat. It's going to be interesting.
And when is the release date again?
April 25th.
Wonderful. Now, people can still come to the Brooklyn Brewery for tastings. Is that every Friday, or?
We have every Friday. We have sort of the pub evening, the happy hour on Friday, which goes from 6 to 9, and then on Saturdays between 12 and 4. Actually, it's 12 and 5 now. We have the tours.
Terry, on Friday nights, it's from 6 to 9. It's $2 pints. And you can get the best beer on the East Coast fresh out of the kettles. It's fantastic.
And Tim, you're actually one of the original partners of the Brooklyn Brewing Company, are you not?
I was one of the original investors when Tom Potter and Steve Hindy had this crazy idea to start a microbrewery in New York City. And they hit up everybody they knew, including their moms and long lost relatives and friends like me. And it turned out to be a great investment.
Well, I certainly want to thank both Garrett Oliver and Tim Harper here at the kickoff for the Good Beer Book. I encourage everyone to go out and buy one. From the Peculiar Pub, this is Terry Soloman.